Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Smith with ZMB Consulting, and I am here today to help you celebrate your year. What we're going to do today is going to be based on a webinar that I did in December that helped people think about what had happened during their year and then help them celebrate that. I want this video to be super short so that you have time to dig in and to think about what it is that you're celebrating from last year. So I'm gonna, in this video, just kind of walk you through the handout. So there's a handout that you can download. That handout does give you more information about me and my background and what I do if you don't know me yet. So I'll let you find that in there. And there are some fill in the blanks that unless you watch this video, you're not going to know what it is I want you to do in the handout. So that's what I'm going to talk you through right now. This handout actually is part of a series, this Celebrate Your Year webinar. It's paired with Kickstart Your Year. So the week of January 8th, I will be doing another webinar that will help you plan. So this webinar today, this series today that you'll be going through, it really helps you reflect on last year and celebrate so that we can then in January plan what's going to come up for your next year. And you're going to kind of start doing a little bit of that through this series here so that you're primed and ready to go for that next one. All that being said, let's dig in. And behind the scenes information. What you're looking at in your handout is exactly what we did in the webinar. And I could have taken time to change that for this video series, but really that's not revenue producing. And that's not something that's worth taking my time away from family or my team's time away from family. So instead, I'm going to walk you through what happened in the webinar, leave it that same way. And that is going to be a lesson for you as well, that sometimes we don't have to take time on those sorts of things that really don't make a difference. So let's dig in. Day one, we went over why we should celebrate. And there's probably lots of things that are coming to your mind. So write that right in the handout there. Some of the things that we discussed in the webinar of why you should celebrate. Number one, we really go through a lot during the year and we have so much on our to-do list. And so often we get to the end of that to-do list and there's unfinished things. And our default is to say, oh, these are all the things I wanted to do this year or today or this week that I didn't get to finish. And we often don't take the flip side of that and think about, these are all the things I really did. Wow, I did a lot I didn't realize because I was so focused on what I didn't do. So that's one of the most important reasons why we celebrate, is to really think about all of those great things that we've done. And in thinking about those great things that we did, it changes our energy. It makes us feel really good. And when we're in a good feeling place, good things come to us and we get more excited and we do more. When we're in a place of, oh gosh, I didn't do all that, the opposite happens. And we don't want that. We don't want to be in that place. So celebrating is great because it's good for our soul. It's good for attracting and bringing in things that are great and similar to the great things that we did. And it really helps us to see, wow, we really did do a lot, even though we maybe didn't think that we did. The other cool thing about celebrating is it helps us to see the things that went well so that we can put more of those into our plan as we get ready to plan for next year in that next series of Kickstarting Your Year. So by being able to see all the great things we did and celebrate them, it sets us up well for that planning for next year. The next part is ideas of ways to celebrate. And we talked about a lot of different things in the webinar. Some of the things that came up was maybe a food treat that you like. Maybe it's cookies, maybe it's candy, some beverages, maybe it's a glass of champagne or some sparkling cider if you don't drink, or maybe it's that favorite drink you have from Starbucks or another coffee place. Bringing those things, or just a warm cup of tea and a nice mug that feels inviting. But taking time to be with those things and then looking at your environment. Maybe you're going and you're putting streamers up and you're putting confetti there or whatever is going to make it fun. The more we can make it fun, the better we're going to feel inside. So think about what those things are for you. And for each person, it's different. Then what we did is we went month by month and thought about 4 different things. So if you go into the next pages of the handout, you'll see a space for each month in the year of 2023. And in each of those months, I want you to think about 4 things, and there's a space to write that on your handout. The first one is accomplishments. What did you accomplish during the year, during that particular month? The second one is relationships. What relationships happened during that year? And for some, it might be relationships that were new that came in. For others, it might be relationships that you stopped interacting with because they weren't serving you anymore. The third is struggles that you've overcome. So often, like, we look at struggles as negative things, but they really can be positive. If you look at the things that you've struggled with, and then you see how you overcame them and you're so far from them, it's like, oh my goodness, I learned this and this and this through that. And I'm so glad that that struggle came because I was able to learn and accomplish a lot through overcoming it. And then the fourth one is new things. So what are new things that have happened during those months? So that's what you're going to go ahead and do next. And at any point, pause the video here and then continue playing it to get to the next part of the handout. So after you're done going through those months, there's a couple questions there. I'm not going to go through them because you can read yourself, but the second question refers to our day 3 of the webinar when we actually came together and we brought those things we thought about and we celebrated together. So that's a chance for you to think about when you formally do celebrate, what is it that you're going to bring? So now on day 2, we talked a little bit about how day 1 reflected on what we did in each of those months. And it really is, when we celebrate, it goes beyond what we did, because all those different things that you wrote in the months, they go a little deeper. Each of those things had an impact on somebody. Each of those things had a shift either in you or somebody else. And you really made a difference. And that's what that last part is about being a difference maker. The people who are attracted to me and who I work with in my job at the nonprofit DoCap, or in my business, Z&B Consulting, when I'm coaching, or even when I'm volunteering on parish council or with the chamber or with Rotary, any of those things that I do, the people I interact with, they are difference makers. We are people who like to make a difference in the world. And by making a difference in the world, so many awesome things happen and gives us so much to celebrate. So that's really what those couple sections there are about. And it preps us for the next activity that comes up. And the next page in the handout, you'll see 6 different things. And in those things, I'm going to tell you what to fill in each of the blanks. So the first one is people impacted. The second one is challenges overcome. The third one is successes. The fourth is new relationships. The fifth is ways I've given back. And the 6th is wins at home that I've influenced. And think about each of those things right now. And like I said, in a second, you'll pause the video so that you can do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to think about each of those things in the perspective of 2023. Who did you impact in 2023? What new relationships came through? What successes do you have? And number 6 is one that often surprises people, because as we're out and we're doing work, we don't often see how that blends with our family. But the things that we are doing definitely make a difference in the people around us. Our kids, our parents, our spouses, they all start shifting as we shift. And sometimes when we're doing good things, they're of course going to be having shifts in positive ways. We're doing bad things, that affects them in a bad way too. So this is a chance to think about, what are the cool things that have happened in your home, in your family life, that are because you have put this great effort forward last year and have all these other things to celebrate. So take some time to answer those questions and then come back to the video. Okay, now that you're back, the next thing that we did during the webinar, we had some homework again, and I'm going to let you look at those questions there. And the second question starts prepping for day 3 of our webinar. And on day 3, as I mentioned earlier, we actually did celebrate together. So this page here and these questions on day 3, they allow us to do 2 things. The first one is to reflect on all of our answers from day 1 and 2 and to think, wow, what are all of the things now that I'm celebrating from 2023? Then it gives us a chance to think about 2024. And this is the first step of our planning and the preface for the Kickstart Your Year webinar that I'll be doing the week of January 8th. And what it does is it allows us to start dreaming, to think about when we are in this same place a year from now, in 2024, what are we going to want to be celebrating? So by thinking ahead to what we want to celebrate in 2024, we have a chance to reverse engineer and to figure out how we're going to accomplish those things and to put those into our plan. And again, that's what we're going to do in the Kickstart Your Year webinar the week of January 8th. So don't forget to join me for those. There will be recordings. But the other thing it allows us to do is it allows us to dream and to visualize. So when we know what we want and what can happen, we are able to sit there and we're able to think, okay, these are the things. You can see them, you can visualize them, you can feel them. And through those experiences, gosh, I got tingles as I'm talking right now. And that's what happens when you know that you're getting a message from God or the universe or whoever you believe in. I'm a very faith-filled person. I believe in God. I have no judgment for people who don't and who whatever works for you, I'm there to support you. And but for me, it is God, and I get those tingles and I know that it's God talking to me. And when we can visualize what we want coming ahead, and we can do that on a daily basis, we start attracting things. God knows what we want. The universe knows what we want. And we start attracting things into our environment that match what it is that we're wanting with our dreams. And then our dreams still start happening. And it's usually those moments when it's like, oh my gosh, like how did that come about? And where did that come from? It came out of nowhere. It really didn't come out of nowhere. It came because you were intentional in knowing what you wanted and you were thinking about it intentionally, visualizing it, feeling it. And all the pieces then just start falling into place in a way of ease and flow. And that's really what you want life to be about. You want it to be effortless. You want it to be easy. You don't want to be like really grinding. That's not what my clients or the people I work with do. We don't grind. We enjoy life. We enjoy family. We enjoy doing the things that we like to do in our business or in our job that serves others or our volunteer work. And by doing that, all of the things that God is trying for us and has planned for us in the universe starts happening. We're his tools and we're his vessels, and we're able to make those things happen. So that is everything from this particular webinar that we did. I thank you for watching this video, and I encourage you, once you're done thinking about what to celebrate in 2023 and in 2024, the next step is to really have a party and to celebrate. So have a party for yourself. Invite others if it's more fun. Do whatever it is that makes sense for you. Do you, and celebrate, truly celebrate all of the great things that you've done during the year. And that's about it. Shoot me an email. My email is in the handout, as well as I believe there's a phone number you can shoot me a text, whatever is easiest for you. I'd love to hear about the ahas that came up for you. I'd love to talk to you about this. If you're looking for extra support, either through one-on-one coaching or group coaching, I'd love to talk with you. I'm helping clients with those things right now, and I do still have a few slots that are opened up. And if you're local to the Chicago area and you're looking to volunteer in your community to support them, let's talk about that too, because we have tons of opportunities with the nonprofit that I work for you to get involved in volunteering, as well as with the church or the schools or the chamber. Lots of opportunities for you to give back, and I would love to help connect you to those things. So that's about it. I'm signing off, and I am so excited for you in your year, and I am excited to see what happens as you continue to go through this process and celebrate, and look forward to seeing you to plan in January to kickstart your year. Bye.